the story of this great title of England as the Dowry of Mary goes back to the time of St. Edward the Confessor, who is buried at Westminster Abbey. And it reflects the great devotion of the Mother of God that is in the people from this country and who make this country their home. And in 2020, our bishops have asked for us to rededicate England as the Dowry of Mary. And it is a unique privilege. Now, in 1381, King Richard II gave England, the body of England, the country, to Our Lady. But in 2020, we're not going to give her the country because she's already got the country. We're going to give her our faith. It was the gift of the people, of the faith of the people of this country. So we need to prepare over these next 2 years. Now, many of you live in London. And I want you to do one thing when you're in London. I want you to go to the National Gallery in Trafalgar Square. And when you go into the National Gallery, I want you to go and see a painting. And the painting is called the Wilton Diptych. And this is it here in the book that I've asked you to get. And it's the story, it's the picture of King Richard II, surrounded by St. John the Baptist, St. Edward the Confessor, and St. Edmund, giving England to Our Blessed Lady. I'd like you to go and see that picture. It is the most stunning picture, and it's still there, and it's the most treasured part of the national collection. Now, we don't treasure it because it's a good painting. It is a good painting. We treasure it because it represents the faith in Our Lady that is very much the heart of the history of this country. So prepare for the Dowry dedication. And soon things will be going round and events will be happening. We're hoping to have a big Dowry conference in London explaining the significance of the dowry and what that means. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say to you is about the story of Walsingham. And again, I come back to this book because there is a remarkable story written called the Pinson Ballad, the Walsingham Ballad. And the Walsingham Ballad tells the story of Walsingham, but sadly, so few people know about it. So I'm just going to take a few moments now to read you the Walsingham Ballad. This chapel was founded in the year 1061, during the reign of St. Edward, King of our land. All you people devoted to this place, coming to ask Our Lady's help in all kinds of trouble and need. You can learn how this chapel came into existence by reading the story of a miracle as recounted below. A noble widow, sometimes lady of this place, a woman of virtuous life, whose name was Risheldis, asked Our Lady if she could honour her in some special way. The Blessed Virgin granted this prayer in the manner I shall describe, asking her to build this chapel in her memory. Our Lady led Risheldis in spirit to Nazareth and showed her the house where the angel had greeted her. Look, daughter, said Our Lady, take the measurements of this house and erect another one like it in Walsingham, dedicated to praising and honouring me. All who come here shall find help in their need. It shall be a perpetual memorial to the great joy of the Annunciation, ground and origin of all my joys and the root of humanity's gracious redemption. This came about through Gabriel's message that I would be a mother through my humility and conceive God's Son in virginity. Now the devout woman saw this vision 3 times. She gladly took note of the measurements of the building, thanking Our Lady for the grace that never deserts the needy. That very same hour, she called workmen together to build the chapel Our Lady had asked for. That night, a meadow was soaked with heavenly dew, sent down by Mary. Only 2 places were marked as her choice, for on them no dew had fallen. They remained dry. Now this was the first intimation of where our new Nazareth should stand, built like the first in the Holy Land. When everything was ready, Richeldius remained in a quandary. Which of the 2 places shown by Our Lady should she choose, since both were areas equal in circumference? For there were 2 miraculous dry places. The widow thought the best choice would be to erect Our Lady's house where the chapel of St. Lawrence now stands by the twin wells. Carpenters set to work, digging the foundations on which the holy house would rise. But they were soon baffled by the fact that nothing seemed to fit. They felt discouraged at the failure, for they could not account for it naturally. At last they laid down their tools, and Richeldius told them to go and rest. She was confident that Our Lady, who was the initiator of the work in hand, would bring it to completion in her own way. And for this, Richeldius prayed earnestly. At night, the widow remained in prayer, while Our Blessed Lady, the chief architect, raised the house by the hands of angels and set it 200 feet or more from the original site. When the builders returned in the morning to continue their work, they found every part of the building faultlessly joined, far better than anything they could have done. Since then, Our Lady has performed many miracles here, too many to count in this short space. For more than 400 years, chronicles bear witness that those who visit Mary's house on pilgrimage, as it were, are daily showered with grace. Many sick have been cured by Our Lady's power, the dead revived, the lame made whole, the blind have their sight restored. Sailors have been brought safely to port through tempest and storm. Deaf mutes, the sick, the lepers have all been made well through Our Lady's intercession at this place. Therefore, pilgrims, strive to serve Our Lady with humble love. Apply yourself to doing as she would wish, remembering the great joy of her Annunciation. The title is due to the fact, the title of the Dowry, that here is built the house of New Nazareth in honour of our Heavenly Queen and her glorious salutation. As Gabriel hailed her with an Ave in Old Nazareth, so here that is daily remembered with joy. O gracious Lady, glory of Jerusalem, glory of Zion, and joy of Israel, Rose of Jericho and Star of Bethlehem, O glorious Lady, do not deny our requests, for you are the most merciful of all women. Blessed Lady, grant your grace to all who devoutly visit this place. It is a wonderful story, but sadly it's a story that's not known. And I ask you to help me to promote this story, to read the story when you go home, to look and see, because wherever Our Lady appears, there is a message for the people who hear that story. So please pray for us here at Walsingham, and pray because we are about to start rebuilding England's Nazareth. So everything you see here, apart from the slipper chapel, will be demolished. And a new church will be rise here that will seat 1,000 people. A brand new church dedicated to Our Lady. At the far end, there will be new candle houses. There will be new places for the people, the many thousands of pilgrims who come here to Walsingham. So pray for us. Pray for this work. Pray that we may rebuild England's Nazareth by understanding the message of Walsingham, and then one day to create a new Nazareth here to the glory of God and to the wonder of all pilgrims, and in response to the prayers and the request of the Mother of God. She came here for you. She came here for us. Let us now return with our generosity the message to others and do what we can to help to build New Nazareth.